Hello and welcome to Nintendo Pals Podcast, the show all about Nintendo and friendship. I am joined today by my fellow Nintendo pal, Micah.
Yep.
And I'm also joined by Eli.
Hello.
Who's been joining us from Barely a Gaming Podcast this week to help us host and also provide us with microphones and a room and a place to record. Hey, thanks for letting us invade your house. This is pretty cool. Today, we are answering your community-submitted questions and topics. As you can see, we're recording remote, so we don't have our usual sound effects, our intro, our outro, but let's just get into it. What do you guys say?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so first up, we have the age-old question from Presto, the Magnificent. What's the best game that came out in the third quarter of 1986 in our ongoing What's the Best Game That Came Out series? Thanks to Presto. He's basically funded an entire segment for 100 episodes or so. Micah, what's your answer for that?
Gotta be Metroid.
Oh, but that came out?
Apparently released August 6th.
You're gonna like my answer as you come up here. Metroid, like the original Metroid.
Probably. I assume.
Imagine being, because I didn't play the original Metroid, but imagine the shock and amazement of learning that Samus was a girl. It's like,
What a twist.
that was
But should
that was a
it be
big
a
twist.
twist? Shouldn't be that surprising.
Yeah, true. I mean, I probably would have been like, this is just a robot. What? The robot is a girl? Well, that's a good pick. My pick for this is I Am a Teacher, Super Mario Sweater. What is that, you may ask? Well, it's a game that released on August 27th in 1986, only in Japan. It was designed to be a sewing simulator. Players would input their measurement sizes and design sweaters, adding pictures of famous characters such as Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Bowser in the process. This is awesome.
Wow. How come we didn't get that?
I don't know.
We need the second one to come out.
Yes. Royal Industries realized that they could profit from a sweater design program, which led to the development of this game. The company eventually made a real-life version of the game and sold it for 24 United States dollars. So there you go. There you go. That's the cool game that I picked. What do you got, Eli?
Oh, that was the same game for me as well.
Oh, really?
Wow, what are the odds? That really super obscure game you both love so much.
I just love sweaters, you know?
I'll cheat a little bit. This was released May 27th, 1986 in Japan. So it's pretty close to Q2. Close enough. And that would be the original.
Q3.
Wait, when does Q3 start? September?
July, right?
July?
July to September, and then November, October, December before. That's
All right,
how
well,
I'm pretending it
It's close.
I'm
enough.
cheating anyway, so I
It's
guess I'm
close
not
enough.
looking to cheat. That game would be Dragon Quest.
Ooh,
Released right around then.
Original Dragon Quest. Good pick.
I've really only played one Dragon Quest game.
I played the demo of a Dragon Quest game.
I've played Dragon Quest Heroes Monsters 2 that came out for the Game Boy. And that was a fantastic game. You would run around and you would pick up monsters. Very much like Pokemon. But I got really into it, like the breeding aspect of it. So you'd have like different slimes. And so then you could breed your two slimes to get a special cool slime. And yeah, it sounds a lot like Pokemon as I described it then.
It is.
Like classic Ditto situation.
But I think you can breed a lot of different types of monsters too. So you could breed a slime with another Dragon Quest monster to get some kind of cool I can only think of a slime.
Can you name a second Dragon Quest monster?
Not at the moment.
Well,
It's been a long time.
Eli, that's a
That sounds
perfect
cool.
that's a perfect segue into the next question. Actually, speaking of Pokemon, you want to ask that one from Ayla Bayo.
Yes. Once I find it.
It's a very top, very
It's
top.
a very, very. Well, let me see. If you could create any Pokemon, what would it be like?
If you could create any Pokemon, we've had this question before in the distant past on this show, and I think that I said I wanted it to be a podcasting Pokemon, so it had like some sort of like
Sweet.
microphone built into it. But I'm gonna change up my answer here, and I want a Pokemon that is designed to look like like a Pokemonification of Mario characters.
Hmm.
So, or we could just go straight referential, and
That's a bit creepy, honestly.
we just throw in a Goomba as a Pokemon. You can catch Goombas and use
they
them
do have like the Knackle, which is kind of
like a.
Pokemon mushroom
That's true.
ish.
Yeah, basically a one-up mushroom or a it's regular power mushroom. Yeah, that's gonna be my answer, because I want a a Goomba Pokemon. What do you want, Micah?
I don't know. I don't think they need to make any more Pokemon after they created the perfect specimen, Shuckle.
How about a Shuckle evolution?
I feel like they would just ruin it. It's already perfect.
It'd be like the Dunsparce. It'd
I
be
just-
a second.
I was like, the only-
shell.
Actually, maybe they do something like that, but they just have multiple Shuckle heads sticking out of their shell, so it looks extra dopey.
That's basically a Wug trio.
Yeah, but out of a cool Shuckle shell, where you can store your berries and turn them into juice. I think there's something like that. In
Yeah.
the Pokédex entries.
They should do like a regional variant where Shuckle is in like different shells, or you get like different colored shells. We could combine, and it could be like a Koopa shell with Shuckle, like a Bowser shell. That would be cool. Shuckle should just be like a hermit crab and and
Have
move to
any
like
sort of shell at once.
yes, move to different things. That'd be pretty cool. Eli, do you have an answer for this one? What kind of Pokemon would you like to make?
I think for me it'd be like a Dragon Quest slime, which mixed with another, Dragon Quest monster.
Ah, good old callback jokes.
No, I don't have a good answer. I was just thinking about that and just got stuck on that. So,
What would a Dragon Quest slime mixed with a Ditto look like?
I don't know.
what does a Ditto look like? I'm not a Pokemon
It's
person.
like it's a slime.
Yeah.
It's a pink slime.
A purple
Ditto.
slime that can turn itself into other Pokemon, essentially.
Yeah, no, I'm not the Pokemon expert by any means.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Let me
I
research.
think I'm with Micah as well. I was like, I don't really know if we need too much more Pokemon. There's nothing that I'm like, oh man, why haven't they made a Pokemon of that yet?
Yeah.
Except
Done
for
most things.
except for a platypus. Have they done a platypus?
You know what? I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Bidoof is a beaver. A platypus just feels like more specific. That'd be pretty cool.
I think it'd be like a slime with a little bit of arms. After doing some research.
He's over here. I see a picture of Ditto on your phone over.
So
so good.
the Dragon Quest slime is like a little teardrop.
Right.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it'd just be
So
like a
just like
teardrop
that,
and
but
then
with
like
some
little
arms and the
hanging
Ditto
out.
face, right? Well, I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
I feel like its face is pretty iconic too. The slime. I don't know. I don't know. I've always been pitched for the idea of a Ditto evolution that is not garbage to use, because Ditto copies the other Pokemon exactly, but I think it keeps its same stats or something like that. It's never as good as the other Pokemon.
Plus, you miss out on the turn transforming.
Yes. So it would be cool. And there is, I know they've added a hidden ability that Ditto can get where it will transform automatically.
Oh yeah.
So it would be cool if just it gets like a stat boost as well. So you transform into the other Pokemon and you're just
But you're
better.
better.
Yeah.
What they should do, I think, is just have all 4 slots transform. Well, that wouldn't quite work because they'd have to overwrite. But once you transform into a Pokemon, that should be something you can change into, and you can like store the last 4 Pokemon your Ditto has copied.
Yeah.
That way you
ooh,
have a little variety.
That's a good idea. So it's basically like a wild card of a Pokemon that could be multiple different ones. That's a good idea. It's a good idea. That hasn't really been done that I can think of
Yeah.
in a dynamic way. Like there's Pokemon that can change their type and change their attacks, but nothing that's like swap between things real drastically like that. That's a good idea. Pokemon Company, hit us up for more design help. All right, let's ask the next questions here. We got 2 more questions. First one here is: will Andros beat Plock this year for Plocktober?
What do you think, Eli?
Oh, I think he will. Yeah.
Wow.
I think he doesn't have a choice but to beat Block.
A lot of faith in him.
I
It's been
am
what,
committed.
20 years?
I'm committed this year to beating Plock in celebration of Plocktober. And you know what else? We're committed to some Plocktober merch, which is coming soon. So be on the lookout for that. I haven't finished it quite yet, but I'm hoping to have it done probably by the time this podcast goes live. So maybe a link in the description. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see.
I don't know if I'm convinced that you'll be able to do it. I feel like you've had ample time in the
ample time in the past. It's my time's only getting more and more limited. I just keep having kids, you know how and you know how that goes. No, I'm just
They're like Pokemon.
They're like Pokemon. They just but that's let's move on. Next question from Muggles Moo. What emoji best fits your personality and why?
What emoji?
I have this one here. I'm showing to the camera for those watching. It is a combination of the turtle emoji and the thumbs up emoji, and I feel like this fits my personality. He's just a happy little turtle that's okay. Like, I'm okay.
This was a very recent question.
Oh, you haven't prepared?
I have not prepared. I think this sums it up pretty
I do like that one. You want to hold it up close for the camera there? Micah's picking.
Angry / judgmental owl.
He's a judgmental owl. So good.
Maybe the sweaty smiley face for me, like the
That's the one I use most.
yeah. That was quite good.
Easily my most popular emoji.
That's what. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. For some reason, I was picturing this like nasty sweating. You know, the one that's like the hot face. It's like panting. That's what I pictured. But you're talking about the like single giant sweat, the like anime sweat that's up in the corner, and you're like,
Yeah. No,
what do you describe that as besides smile sweat? Like, what emotion are you portraying here? It's like a
Well, it's like,
Sheepish.
for example, you organize a podcast, but then everything goes wrong, but you have really important guests on, so then you're like, that's it.
Oh man, so relatable to everybody that's listening.
I mean, you know how it is.
You know how it
You know.
is when you're inviting an important guest on your podcast. It's the like. It's when you're like a friend is like, oh, hey, do you want to go see this movie together? And you're like, oh, I already went and saw it with my other friend.
My other better friend.
My other better friend. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's the like, I use it a lot apologetically. That's how.
How I use it. Someone's like, "Hey, can you pick me up from the airport?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can do that tomorrow." And then they text me like, "When are you gonna get here?" And I just respond with that and then ghost them after I'd clearly forgotten.
Or it's like, too bad Micah can't come this week.
Well, so context for that. I didn't know Mike. We were coming here to visit our friends, Eli and Morgan from Barely a Gaming Podcast. I didn't know Micah was going to be here. In fact, Micah told me he wasn't going to be here.
Yep. You're like, wow,
It's
look
a
at this!
surprise.
Look at this ticket. It's so cheap, and it was.
I
the ticket
literally
for the
gave
flight
him.
I had already booked.
I literally gave him the
But
information.
cheaper, somehow.
You should have waited for me.
I should have waited.
Should have waited for me. But we were here to surprise our friend Morgan for her birthday. It was a fun surprise.
Yeah, so it's funny. Yeah, so we had Andros and his wife come and visit us this week, and that was a surprise to my wife Morgan. And so their whole family flew up from Florida. My wife had no clue.
Yeah,
They actually hid in the closet. I was like, "Hey Morgan, I got some cool chocolate for you, candy." And so she was like, "Interesting." And as she's walking over there, she heard some noise because they have some kids. She's like, "You didn't get me a puppy, did you?" And so then, but anyways, open it up the closet and yeah, completely shocked Morgan, like out of her shoes, basically.
She was crying.
Yeah.
Of joy. No, she was so upset to see us. Like, why are you here? No, just kidding.
Yeah, and then later on that night, I had to lie to get out of the house by myself and drive not too far away from the airport to get Micah. And then brought Micah home, had him enter through the garage and just like waltz into the kitchen and grab a glass of water. And then he was just casually there. I was chilling in the living room. I walked in the other way. And then my wife saw him first as well. And was like,
Thought someone was breaking in.
yeah.
Someone just break into this house?
But again, super shocked.
I was floored. I was so shocked. It got me good. I've never been more surprised by Micah showing up somewhere as I was here.
And then it was my wife's birthday on Thursday. And by this point, I think she had gotten used to surprises, so I think she was on the lookout a little bit. So we had to make up a lot of lies for it to work out pretty well.
She asked, so no more surprises, right?
And you're like, yeah.
But we surprised her too that day. We still got her. She came in and
like all the family here.
yeah, had a surprise birthday party for her. It worked pretty well. Maybe not as good as the first two surprises,
She
but
didn't cry.
she didn't cry
after the first
afterwards.
one.
But she was definitely still surprised. We told her that we were gonna all go out to eat later on that night whenever they got back.
Oh man, we'll tell the rest of the story for Nintendo House Plus because
Okay.
this feels
It's a little
like
off topic, sorry.
like Patreon exclusive content that we're sharing right here. Hey, if you like this kind of conversation, check out our Patreon.com/Nintendo House promo for that. No, but there's some good. We can expand on the lies we had to tell to make that whole thing work. But we have more questions actually.
Okay.
Speaking of Morgan, we got a question from Morgan on Discord. What's it like being the coolest guys around? Oh, and then it says real question now. What's your
what's
goal?
that?
Oh, wait a
What do you
minute.
mean?
Wait a
What
minute.
do you mean?
What?
That's so good. Well, I don't think
Pretty
I'm the
good.
coolest guy around. I don't think I am.
Yeah, that would definitely be Micah.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
definitely Micah.
Definitely Micah.
Micah's a pretty cool guy. Also, I'm just now noticing that we're coordinated. We're all wearing blue shirts. Planned.
Very nice.
Very planned.
Different shades of blue shirts.
Yeah.
We're all wearing shorts as well.
True.
Very nice.
That's because
Hopefully
it's
one
really
other
warm,
article
I
of
think.
clothing under there. Let's continue.
Wait, what?
Why did you? Okay.
I'm trying to move
Okay.
on.
Real question now. What's your goal for the podcast in the next year?
Well, I would say take over the world of Nintendo Palace Podcast by leaving a 5-star review.
Ooh, yes. Our goal is to get. I do want to be the most reviewed Nintendo podcast on the planet, on the face of planet Earth.
I mean, other planets, whatever they.
Other
can be the
planets,
most reviewed.
IGN can have Mars or whatever. I don't care about Mars so much. Sorry to all our Martian listeners. Goal for the podcast. It wasn't even funny. Goal for the podcast in the next year is to grow on YouTube, to be monetized on YouTube, and to hopefully pick up more like sponsorships, as well as just improving overall podcast quality. And we're trying a bunch of new stuff with this season. We're doing the more episodes, and we're building these episodes to be more YouTube friendly. So if you're wondering why we have so many episodes and they're much shorter, is because it's just better YouTube content that way. That's my goal. Michael, what's your goal? Do you have your well, that's our goal. But
Yeah,
what's your...
that's actually exactly what I'd written down here in my notes.
Oh,
Can't believe you stole that.
yep. Micah's goal is to retire this year.
My goal is to get a free copy of Metroid Prime 4.
That's always been
A
Micah's
free
goal.
review copy.
Hit us up, Nintendo.
I've
Hit
been
us up.
playing the long game for a long time for this.
This better work.
If you don't get a free copy of Metroid Prime, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'll ask somebody if they could give you a free copy.
Oh, you know,
I appreciate
you
it.
know
Yeah, you know
people that
people?
work at Nintendo?
No, but I can ask
You
around
can
and
still ask.
luck of the draw type of situation.
Someone will be willing to do
Yeah.
it, probably. Thank you so much, everybody, for the questions this week. We really appreciate it. Hey, if you want to ask questions in the community corner, you can you can leave a comment on this video. If you're listening over on Spotify, there's a comment section as well, so leave comments there. That's where we got the question this week from Ayla Bayo. And you can also hit us up on Discord. All the links to all of these places are in the description of the episode. Michael, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitch at Micah Prime.
You can find me at Andros1 on Twitch and YouTube, and you can find Eli
At Barely GP on
X on X. And we want to thank you all for being here. Hey, and a huge shout out and thank you. I'm gonna try and do this differently this episode, since we don't have our normal Patreon Poke Rap, which we wrap our appreciation for our Patreon supporters.
If you can call it that.
I am going to read through this as fast as possible.
just
So, no,
wrap all the names this time, okay?
no. I'm just gonna
Just
go
do
through
it.
this.
It doesn't
Huge
count. unless
shout
you
out and
wrap
thanks to You did it again. Nick, why do I keep messing up your name? I'm so sorry. Nick Lanoy, Fedorable Will, Monkey Thunders, Madison, Purple Riolu, Lava Plays, John Cummins, Third Strongest Mole, Cosmic, Lilm 7, Tim, aka Neo Prime 33, aka Nintendo Dad number 4, Seth Sturgill, Liam D, Brian Reese, Schlimtor, Shannon Inu, and Mute Dog the Gamer. Thank you all so much for your support over on Patreon. We appreciate that immensely. It helps us out a lot. And that's it. That's all we have for the episode.
Yep.
Bye-bye.